Today it's Women Wednesday, so we try to have some healthy food in the house because the women are usually more healthy than the men. I went over to my friend Greg over at Champs Gourmet right here in the financial district and asked for a fruit platter. And Greg, being the great guy he is, he filled the whole table for us with cookies and healthy sandwiches, and we have turkey, we have meatless for Frankie, vegetable, everything you ever wanted and more. All the news, all the markets. And Frank, to me, the top of the news is stocks today. We like to talk about stocks when it's worth it, and it's worth it today because a couple of weeks ago the market was down 600 on the tariff talks. Everyone was getting all nervous, and now all of a sudden, wham, up 500, up 150 today.
So let's talk about this. So this was I think the second best day that stocks had for the year yesterday.
That's right.
And people are attributing it to, and I'm curious if you go with the conventional wisdom, because I know you can be sort of an unconventional guy from time to time.
Here and there.
They are attributing this to the Fed being poised to cut interest rates again in September. Evidently, the Fed is concerned that tariffs might be a little bit of a drag on our economic growth, and they're saying, don't worry, if it goes in that direction, we're just going to cut interest rates again. And investors went crazy. Do you buy that as the reason for the bull market yesterday?
I'm buying it's a help to offset the tariffs. I'm not buying that the Fed is nervous. What's happening at the Fed is Donald Trump said, you guys want to keep raising rates and trying to cool off my economy right now? I'm going to send in a few new guys that you're not going to like. I'm going to send in Stephen Moore. I'm going to send in Herman Cain. I'm going to bring some Godfather's Pizza into the Federal Reserve Bank. And I think the Fed chair was like, all right, okay, calm down. Maybe we'll cut rates. And a cut would be nice. It might be over-stimulus if you ask me, but we certainly don't need any raises. And I think the economy is steaming along. So maybe the Fed can just butt out right now and let regular free market capitalism live.
Well, but I do wonder, though, should the Fed even be hinting at a rate cut? I mean, even with the recent rate increases that we've seen, the Fed has some of the lowest interest rates we've ever seen. And if there is a recession again, which eventually there's always another recession, if there is a recession again, by having rates so low, do they take away a pretty important bullet out of their arsenal?
Well, I've been an advocate from when back in 2010, 2011, we were at zero interest rates. I've been an advocate of raising rates, and what I thought was raising rates causes banks to take a little more risk because they can't engage in the government Ponzi. You know, years ago, if you weren't paying attention, when rates were at zero, the banks could go to the discount window and borrow money at zero, and then take that money and buy U.S. Treasury bonds and get paid 2%. So there was a Ponzi going on where the banks had no incentive whatsoever to lend to small businesses. And Frank, now as rates come up, you see small businesses are growing, capacity utilization is up, and I think because they're higher, we do have some room to cut.
Well, so it's the people that were getting hurt the most with the zero interest rates initially and now with the low interest rates are savers. People that have done everything that you're supposed to do in life. They didn't go heavily into debt. They put away their pennies for a rainy day so that they could buy a house or send their kids to college. They used to be able to live on their interest, and now they're basically paying for the privilege of renting a vault. That's why I am so opposed to a rate cut at this point, and I wish the president would stop picking on his own Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. You don't like Jerome Powell? Maybe you shouldn't have picked him to be the head of the Fed. But to publicly criticize him in this way, I think it makes it look like he has poor judgment.
I don't know. I don't think that's just the way he negotiates. And if you ask me, I think his negotiation worked because Powell said, all right, calm down. Maybe we'll cut. Maybe we'll keep them steady. We're not going to raise for a little while.
I say raise the rates. Give the savers a break. Make it pay to save again.
Many in our audience watching at home are baby boomers, and they rely on that interest savings. And we'd like to hear from you, our viewers in the Newsmax audience, about saving if you think rates should be a little higher so you get a little more income.